And hello, everybody. We are here. Scott Hastings is there. He's clean. Wait a minute. You're wearing glasses and cleaning glasses? Is this some kind of bit? What are we doing? Hastings. Hello.
Andy.
Put your earphones in. I'm talking. I don't know what's going on with Hastings. You're all hearing me. Okay.
Hello?
Can you not hear me? Hi, Hastings. So we're trying to get this done, folks. I don't know what's going on. Hopefully everybody can hear me. Clearly Scotty can't. So hopefully you're doing well. Oh, he just left. Now hopefully he'll come back. All right. Send him another one just to be safe. So anyway, real quickly while I got you folks, I'm going to be I don't know that a lot of you are big Mammoth fans, but if you are, just a heads up, next Thursday I'm going to be or next Tuesday we're going to start a new Mammoth podcast at 8:30. We may move it up to 8. So there you go. All right, Scotty, can you hear me?
Yep. Yeah, I couldn't hear you. I had to log out and log back in.
All right. Well, we're all back now. So there it is. There it is. It's Wednesday night. Yeah, you know what? I got to go get my hat. I've got the speakers up. I'm going to go get my hat.
My original.
That's the OG Boston
That's
Scallop.
my first one. I almost got one today. In fact, I got it in the queue.
Go get it. Treat yourself.
Listen, I'm so poor right now. My baloney can't afford a first name.
Yeah, I feel you, baby. Remember when you guys did that? You had the song and all that? What was that? Funky Fridays.
No, it was the introduction of the show. We had 303 did us an intro show, and then my other two partners walked away.
Well, you know, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? So, all right, I'm going to go get my business hat as I do it because I can hear the speakers going as you talk. Give us your assessment of the game. Give us your assessment of last night's game.
I'd almost say it was a great win. Listen, any win's important and big and all that kind of stuff, but I think it's a great win in the sense that you played without Gordon, without Nikola Jokic, and after having 2 straight games on the road in New Orleans and that first night Sunday against Memphis, I thought they played, for lack of a better word, and we can break it all down, but I thought they played soft. I didn't think they played very physical, and that was not the case last night. I thought they came out and delivered the first blow, kept it going. Murray's not a speedster guy that's just going to beat guys off the dribble. You got to give him an edge. If you can give him a half step, then he's good. That didn't happen until last night. And also now that the screens and everything, the movement, they played him a lot more off ball than on ball. So you can't just pressure him. He can move off the ball a little bit. I thought he was much better. And Porter still didn't shoot the three well and didn't shoot the three well in those first 2 games. Gets 24 points, going only 2 of 6 on the free throw line. But I think 10 of his 11 field goals were in the paint, so he was more aggressive too. So I thought it was a good win, and I think a good confidence boost. I think it's good because, we were doubting Dario Saric just, 2 weeks ago. That why did we get him? What's he got? He didn't have anything left, blah, blah, blah. To where I thought he was a really good functioning. And if he just plays like he played in backup minutes, that's going to help them. DJ came in a couple of games. I thought his performance was solid. I thought Peyton Watson was really good. And you and I talked about it on this broadcast. And I told you before the season started, I don't worry about Christian Brown at all. And
you're right.
I think that's people are starting to see that also.
Well, so real quick on Saric, do you think he's getting comfortable enough that he's what's the ideal minute count for him, right? When Nikola gets back, and I believe it'll be Friday and all that, what are you talking, 10 minutes, 15 minutes tops? Just some fill-in duty?
Yeah, probably 15 to 18 tops. Depends on, if it's rolling and everything else going on. But, if you played 18 minutes, for example, that means Joker's playing 30. Well, Joker ain't going to play 30. Joker's probably going to play 33 to 36, 38. So now you're talking, 10 to 15 minutes probably.
By the way, yeah, we both have our business hats on, Will. Boston Scally, get your business hat. Go to business. Get the business done.
I told you
Yeah.
I had one in the queue. I just couldn't push the pay button on it today.
Oh, look, I don't know about you. Everything I buy these days, I feel like I put it in the cart like you and I leave it there. Then I get 9 emails and eventually they give me some offer that suckers me back to going in and finishing the purchase off.
Yeah,
but
I did.
I got a guitar pedal coming like that, but oh well.
Yeah, notice though these 10% discounts they give you, they always upcharge you on the shipping. You can't tell me it takes $8 to ship a hat.
No, I'm with you.
The
any of them
weighs nothing.
I'm with you. There's no doubt about it. Whatever. All right. So they get through the road trip. Nicola's going to be back. Are they in a good place? Do we need to worry about any of this? I mean,
no, I don't get nervous. I didn't get nervous on the Avs when they started 0-4. I don't get nervous on the Nuggets. I don't get nervous till after you get 20, 25 games in. And then we can start seeing, because now everybody should be in shape. Everybody should be ready. Here we go.
Here we go, indeed. All right.
DU in North Dakota on altitude right now, watching a little college hockey going.
Yeah, I got a little of the pro game going on TNT, 245. We've got Nashville and Seattle playing. So there you go. 2 teams that I don't think have had the kind of seasons they wanted. That Nashville thing's kind of wild. Scotty, help me. You know what? This is kind of nothing to do with anything, but that's what this podcast is. Welcome to it. It's Hot Mike with Hastings and Lindahl. Why sometimes when you throw a bunch of veteran guys together does it not work? Is it just too many old philosophies? Is it guys stuck in their way? I don't think we've had an example of that in Denver for a while. But Nashville, it isn't working. The old 2009 Philadelphia Eagles, it didn't work. The old Redskins back in the day. Bruce Smith and Deion Sanders and all those guys, like they signed all those, old aging stars one year. Why sometimes when you put a bunch of old stars together, does it maybe not go right? Do you have any theories?
Well, no, there's an old thing my grandfather used to always say that everybody's probably heard is it's tough to teach an old dog new tricks. The key, and I think one of the reasons I think Westbrook's going to work out fine and has worked out fine, is he's understood and accepted what his role is in his 17th year in the NBA. He's not, even though he got a triple-double last night, he doesn't think he's a star. He doesn't need to be a star. But you know what he does? He demands everybody to play hard. He's kind of been the perfect, if you're going to get an older guy that has creds. I mean, whether people bought in with him yet or not, I mean, the guy's a Hall of Famer. He's going to go in the Hall of Fame someday, right? So, and he demands everybody else to play as hard as he is. I told a story. I was on a radio show back in Grand Junction this morning. They were asked about Westbrook, and I said, and where we sit, where I sit at home games, right there by the bench. And it was one of the home games during that 5-0 homestand. The second unit played like ass, so it's early second quarter. They've had to take a rage timeout, blah, blah, blah. Malone didn't have to say nothing. I mean, and the coaches always meet out there before they join the huddle. Westbrook was going off on them dudes, playing scared. You ain't playing hard. You're soft. I bet. And what are you going to say? Like you said, this guy's going to the Hall of Fame someday. And if he's going to – and listen, he's going to make some mistakes. He's going to dribble into trouble. He's not a great shooter. Yes. But the one thing you can never say is Westbrook dogs it on the floor. Never can say that. And, dude, I was watching them young guys, Strother and Peyton was there, and you're like, okay, these guys they ain't been talked to like that by a player. That I thought that was
maybe not by a coach either. Not in the modern times. You're talking about 2 younger modern players, right? I don't know the coaches get on players like that sometimes anymore. Not like that. Not that raw.
Big Nazi was in. No, he lit them up, and they came out and actually played better. So, listen, I've always had from great coaches I've always talked to that they think the greatest it's one thing with the coach is always the screamer holler. That's tough, man. George Carl said he had 6 bullets a year to be the true a-hole, right? But now if you got a teammate who's a leader, and like I said, that has the papers behind his name that Russell Westbrook has behind his name, and let's be honest, he's probably strong enough and tough enough. He could probably whoop them if they didn't like what he said.
You ain't
You
gonna
know,
do much about it, right? You're probably thinking twice before you try Russ.
dude,
Um,
they got Russ. Here's how valuable he's a guard. They got Russ late in the game when they're starting to run. Oh, what a sloppy, shorthanded goal North Dakota just had. Um, it's late in the game. They take out whoever was playing center. I think it was Zeke or Sarge. I don't even want the two. And they put Russ in to guard Jaron Jackson, who's 6'11", 7-foot all-star. And he's pounding with a dude that goes probably 270 and just pounding on him. I'm like, okay.
yeah, dude, some of these guys aren't used to guys being up in their kitchen, right? You talk about it all the time. Get on up in your kitchen. Russ knows how to get up in your kitchen. Now, again, did he have some whack shots? Sure, a couple 3 balls that I wish maybe he hadn't taken, but it is what it is. If that's the cost of doing business, but you're getting that kind of motivation out of people, that's good. Here's what I'm hoping, Scotty, and I'm curious again your thoughts on this. I'm hoping because everybody like a Julian Strother, he had to play a lot the last couple nights, and hopefully he's finding his shot. I'm hoping everyone's starting to figure out, get their comfort level playing games now. Because guess what? You haven't been able to be so exclusive to your starting lineup after all this.
No, you played now 8 games without, or no, 7 games without Gordon. You had 3 games in the middle of that without Murray.
Joker.
Now had 3 games without Joker. So yeah, listen, if you ain't confident playing right now, you probably ain't ever going to be.
Is this good for Joker, low key? I know that it's a bummer to lose 2 of the 3 that you played without him and all that stuff, but man, Big Man had already rolled up a whole bunch of big minutes, and I know Michael Malone said, I don't care, look at his paycheck and all that. But look, man, you need this guy for the end, not necessarily the beginning. Do you think this low key helped the rest, or?
Oh, I think it'll help him. I think it'll put him in a good place. It's kind of tough how much you're going to run and what your conditioning is like that first game back. Where did you get 10, 15 minutes here and there in the gym to work on your touch and shoot a basketball? Somebody put on X. They saw what was the first day on the road trip? Friday.
Yep.
Friday in New Orleans. Somebody wrote, "Yeah, I just saw Joker playing with his daughter in Cheeseman Parks on a swing set." So listen, he is the last guy in the world I'd ever be worried about.
Right. Which is why I'm glad he got a rest a little bit. He didn't totally lose it. I mean, look, Nate had some interesting numbers about what happened to the teams. Like a bunch of teams, both New Orleans, the Pacers, the Lakers, they all kind of gassed out after making that hard push for that in-season tournament stuff. You don't make the finals, you don't make the finals. You know what I mean? I want the Larry O'Brien. I'm not worried about some dumb banner you made up to make more money in the season. You know what I mean? So
well, and I'll be real honest with you. The NBA probably don't want to say this. I'm not sure if push came to shove, 98% of the players in the NBA could care less.
Sure.
Now it'd be great when you win it because I think they give $1 million cash to every
and a free trip to Vegas.
Yeah, but it's a made for TV extravaganza that probably netted, honestly, in the NBA $50 million a year
from the Emirates to sponsor the name of it.
Something like that. So, yeah, it'll help the players in the long run because it adds to the salary cap and all that type of stuff. But it's you're painting ugly floors. You're putting on ugly floors and letting them just go play and calling it a special game. And I love what Silver said when he started. He goes, yeah, we're trying to figure something, an in-season tournament in the middle of the year when everybody with that attention is starting to wane and make it more focused so the players will be more focused. We started the in-game tournament at game 11. That's not the middle of the year. If you
No,
don't have
no,
teams
it's not.
focused, if you don't have teams focused at games 10 through 20, there's something wrong with your league. Yeah. Now, if you had this tournament's game 38 through 48, all right, I'm with you.
Well, again, man, have some version of this. You can't replace the All-Star break, but why not the All-Star game? Did you see where they're thinking about going to some different games at the like 3 or 4 teams in the game or some stuff like that, man? Come on, dude. It's
The current NBA players have made the All-Star game a joke. I was reading a story. So remember the All-Star game when Dwayne Wade broke Kobe Bryant's nose? Ain't none of that, and that was on a post-up. Ain't none of that happened now. No, they're not. It's. I don't even watch the game. It's been to me a disaster. But
yeah.
they're not playing. It's the one game. Play a real game. Why not?
Because the money's too much, because everybody wants their vacation, because competitive is not the thing. Look, you used to have to. I'll go old man for a minute. All right. Sorry, folks out there, because I got a lot of younger people on the platform. But the reality is, it used to be in the marketing game, Scotty. You lived it. You had to be a good player. You had to be a winner. You had to have all the trophies. You had to have the rings to go get some of these endorsements and make a brand and all that kind of stuff. You don't have to have that now. Just have a good agent. Yeah. A lot of these guys already got shoes and, you got your own shoe. You got your own this. You got your own that. And you're an average player. Okay, whatever, But you guys used to, the time to make your name was in the All-Star game going hard against each other, because you had to be the winner to get the money. Now, like I said, you just need to have a good marketing team. You'll be fine. The right number of Instagram followers, and you'll be fine. And some of these guys have been building this brand since they were teenagers now, because of what we've turned sports into. So,
well, and I gosh, forgot his name. What's the guy in Duke? You don't think there's going to be a serious contract from some shoe company trying to get that kid out of Duke coming out after a freshman year?
Oh, right. Yeah.
The kid that practiced against the U.S.
Right.
team this year is a post senior in high school, and LeBron, a couple of the pros, going, that dude's real. He can play, and he hadn't even played a college game yet. Now he's a freshman, averaging 16 or 17 at Duke.
Well, yeah, he's already got how many Instagram?
You don't think Nike and Adidas and New Balance and Under Armour are going to come out and go, hey, take this, we'll make your own shoe $3 million. No, take this, we'll make you shoot $5 million. I mean, in reality, he ain't done nothing in the pros yet.
Yeah, didn't LeBron have $100 million contract when he stepped foot into the NBA?
Well, he had, I don't know if it was $100 million, but I think it was. You have to remember that was like 18 years ago, so I don't think the money was as crazy, but I think it was, a $10 million deal for 10 years, something like that.
Which would be $100 million.
For a kid coming right out of high school, you're making $1 million a year just on shoes.
All right, I've got it. 2003, LeBron James signed a record-setting $87 million contract with Nike.
For 10 years.
There you go. So 8.7 a year. But still, I'm just saying, what do you make? $3 million his first couple years because of the rookie contract scale in the NBA?
Yeah.
He already had $87 million from Nike?
Yeah. Yeah, you're set for life on a shoe contract, even if LeBron would have flamed out.
Right. They owe you the money. Yeah. So, but my point being, you don't have to be famous to get rich off of marketing stuff anymore. That's why these guys don't need the All-Star games or anything else. And that's every league.
Look at the whole NIL stuff in the NFL and stuff. Well, basketball too. Dude, there's going to be dudes coming out in their first year, rookie year in the NFL, when you're making them carry bags and do all this different stuff. Yeah, they're going to carry their Gucci bag. They're going to, you know what I'm saying? They're going to do what they want to do because they already got $10 million in the bank.
Right. Well, it's going to be, I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting to watch what they figure out with this All-Star game. To your point about the in-season tournament, it would just make more sense. Middle January or start of February when we're in the blah time of the year for a lot of people, and sports is, all the winter, all the basketball in the NHL. You're still 2-3 months from playoffs. The holidays are over, and we just need something to get excited about. Throw your tournament in then, throw your tournament in then. I don't know.
Let me show you the Ward just gave me. We're just talking about the NILs or anything else. Big news. Bella Hines becomes the only active high school athlete who's now signed a deal to the Jordan brand.
Really? What is she? What sport?
Amount. And then it says Kaylina Smith becomes first high school women's basketball player to sign a deal with Adidas. So and these aren't even dudes. These are two women that now have shoe contracts in high school.
Yeah, that's where it's going. The race to get these athletes, because look it, you got Olivia Dunn, you had the Cavender twins. They want their Instagram pages, they want their follower counts, they want. Now see, here's the problem. I guess as a dad of a daughter, are we going to be pushing the high school kids Instagram accounts everywhere? I don't know about that. You better make that, if that's what it's going to be, that better become a business account. You better just go get your own little quiet, can't find it private account, because you're not going to be able to be a high schooler on there anymore. But yeah, man, it's sports is big business. It's big bucks, has been for a while, and the bucks are only getting bigger.
I saw somewhere where NILs, the Olivia Dunn is the second highest paid NIL player in college sports behind Shedeur Sanders.
Well, there you go. Is Travis Hunter up there at all? Did you see the ranking? I gotta imagine Travis should be making more money too, shouldn't he?
Well, I thought he was just at 2 or 3, and Shedeur's like at 5.
Okay, I thought Shedeur was up to 10, but maybe not.
Well, this was a month ago when I looked.
All right, if you had to guess, so Armando Salguero came out later today. I think it was after you guys were off the air, and he said he's got it 100%. Deion would go to the NFL as a package deal with Shedeur. Do you think that happens? Do you think both Deion and Shedeur are going to the same team?
He was on a podcast with Ice Cube, and Ice Cube said something about, because he's a Raiders fan, and Deion was giving him daps up. Oh, man, don't put that out there for me. Don't put that out there for me. I think I think he probably would. I think people who get locked in and go, well, she's paying him like $6 million. They can't afford any more. And how are they going to? Dude, he's making 10 times more. He's using CU's brand. He's keeping all the royalties on all the Prime stuff. He is making way more than $6 million. My daughter went up to one of the games and wanted one of those Prime shirts. Or maybe went on CU Book School or CU.com or
whatever. To go to the bookstore, cubookstore.com.
Yeah, and they don't sell none of it. They didn't have any on their online store.
No. All right. So this leads into a comment. Steven fires this off. He says, but Deion isn't only coaching his son, he's coaching 60 other adults in the room. I told you I was watching Get Up, and Andrew Hawkins, the old receiver, I believe he played for Cleveland, and Jeff Saturday both said, yeah, I'm not so sure I want the coach and the coach is the dad and the quarterback is the son. That can make the locker room weird. You're a former athlete. How would you feel about that?
It was weird with Hawkins. How about this? Maybe it's just the years, but with Dan Hawkins and Cody Hawkins, it felt weird. It doesn't feel as weird with Shedeur, maybe because, he's, a draftable first round type player. And so you just kind of accept it. But Hawkins thing always felt weird because we weren't sure.
Cody was not always the best quarterback. Tyler Hansen was a very good quarterback. And look, I covered those teams. I was on the sideline. I felt Tyler Hansen got screwed at CU. Just got screwed because Dan was hell-bent on playing his kid, period.
Yeah.
Period. And Tyler was the better quarterback, period.
There's no one to see you better than Shador.
No, he's undisputed the best. He like Travis is the best player on the team, but Shador is a damn close second. So Shador does a lot of things to buy himself time to make those plays work. If you personally, because I thought it was interesting.
Think it would be weird.
Dominique Foxworth, though, jumped in because he was the third guy on the panel. He goes, look, we all know there's politics in a locker room. He goes, come on. You don't like a quarterback. You don't like a coach. You ain't going to talk around those guys anyway, right? He's like, I don't know if it'd be that big a deal. Is there more politics in a locker room than maybe people realize?
It would still be a weird. Doc Rivers, didn't he coach for a little bit? Wasn't his son
Austin?
It wasn't Austin with them in the Clippers for a minute.
About to say, were they both Clippers? You might be right.
I think so. And I don't know. I just think we were here. But besides that, maybe it wouldn't be. Here's what I think doesn't work. And I respect the hell out of Deion when he says that. I'm not here. I'm here to turn these boys into men. And that's a bit of old school. And even though Deion is pop culture and is as in tune and hip as anybody, he got some old school stuff in him.
He does.
I believe him, and I love it when he says, because that's old school. We're here to turn these boys into men. I love that. Guess what you ain't doing in the pros? You ain't turning a bunch of boys into men. You're coaching a guy that's got 7 years in the league, rehabbing a bum knee, who's got 2 kids out there, and you're worried about putting plays in to make your son look good and to hell if it's good for you. I just don't. I see that. I don't. And even though he's got paper behind him too, I think Deion's act wears thin quicker in an NFL locker room than in college. In college, listen, if all the kids act up, guess what? Half the moms and dads love Deion from his day playing. They're going to get on them kids' ass and probably take Deion's side of things, right?
Well,
like that.
Hey, I'll add one more to your point. Right now, he's bringing in a lot of good for those CU students. He's bringing in the money. He's getting them the blenders. He's got the TV people out there. I don't think you want to. If you're an edge player, you don't want to be kicked out of that. You don't want to get kicked out of the nest. You want to stay there because we've seen it. Deion will tell you, all right, time for you to get on up out of here because I got someone else coming in. So I do think they fall in line with some of the things that he can get for them. That's not going to happen in the pros. Our paycheck's our paycheck. You ain't changing my paycheck. Contract's the only thing changing my. It's not year to year here. I believe Deion's better served. I think Coach Prime's better served in college. I do
too. Well, let me ask this.
But I don't know if he'll stay there.
Not every team can do what the Broncos did and eat Russell Wilson's contract.
No, and frankly, even the Broncos maybe shouldn't have, but it's working out right now.
How many total people has Deion run out of CU in 2 years?
Oh, dude, he's flipped the roster. Yeah, he flat out told everybody last week when he was asked, how'd you change the culture? He laughed and said, brother, if you not paid attention, I flipped the roster.
So guess what you ain't going to do?
And I flipped the coaching staff.
Guess what you ain't going to do when you go to Dallas?
No, not at all.
You can't do it.
No.
Well, Deion, we'd like to get rid of Parsons, but he's actually dead money on us for 50. Our quarterback's going to be a dead hit for 115 million. Sorry, you're going to have to learn to work with him. He don't have to learn to work with anybody in college. He is suited to be a college coach. Saying that, somebody in the pros will take a chance and try to get that spark that he brings. I mean, Las Vegas. Can you imagine Las Vegas and Deion?
Oh, Nate and I talked about it at the end of our show. By the way, catch Scotty from noon to 3 on Altitude Sports Radio. I'm 3 to 6 if maybe you don't know, but hopefully most of you do. Yeah, we talked about it at the end of the show. The thing about it is, so we both know, we just said it right there, CU handed over the whole brand with very little, if not any oversight to Deion. Mark Davis with the Raiders probably do the same. The Raiders, the black and gold, the shield with the pirate and all that thing. There's history. There's mystique there, but there's nothing current outside of Max Crosby and Brock Bowers that's real mystique or whatever about that deal, right? So Dion could go back over. He'll be the glitziest, biggest star of the team. The town loves glitz. He would energize the fan base, and I think Mark Davis let him do anything that he wanted, much like. But again, to your point, will the coaching work?
Mark Davis ain't paying him $20 million a year.
You're absolutely right. And here's the other thing. But if it's for the good of his son, then I think probably he'd do it. But here's the other thing. I know some people have said that basically Dion's going to suggest, hey, man, maybe you ought to take Pat Shurmur with you. He knows how to use Shedeur the right way. We've already seen Pat Shurmur in the NFL. I think college Pat Shurmur's a hell of a coach. I still remember plenty about NFL Pat Shurmur. Frankly, some of the stories I've heard around the campfire up there, I don't think Pat Shurmur wants to go back to the NFL. I think he's happier where he's at.
Yeah, you are. You're not going to have the autonomy. The AD up there basically wrote a blank check on whatever he wants, he gets, and whatever he needs to do. And he ain't going to get that type of autonomy at Alabama.
No, or Florida State,
or Auburn, or name other big
Georgia, Tennessee, Oregon, Yale, UCLA, and USC could use them. But come on, you got your history there. There's still a bunch of people just be too afraid of the guy, period. Just they don't want him to be, again, is it really about CU? People still know CU, but the brand is Prime. It's Dion's Buffaloes. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily the University of Colorado Buffaloes. It's Prime and the Buffaloes. It's on every damn promo. I'm not sure every school wants it to be referred to that way, right?
Well, not every school. Colorado's the perfect mix for him. We started watching, remember Shark Tales? You ever watch that with your kids?
Yeah.
And they go, let me show you the food chain. Here's the sharks. Here I am, the pufferfish guy. And then, that's me, the regular fish. No. Then you have algae, and then you have coral, and then you have whale poop, and there you are below the whale poop. That's where CU was.
Yeah, they had no offense, dude. They had no fun. You know what? We all sat around and talked about it after the game this last week. And I've had people ask me, man, I'm really trying to appreciate it. I got one more game, I think, unless I go to the Big 12 championship or the bowl game. I got one more game to really go enjoy Shedeur and Travis. Because, dude, look, they're some of the best football players I've seen line, period. And I did Bronco games for 10 years. They're seriously some of the best football players I have seen live, hands down. So it is amazing to think. And look, the whole receiving core, that defensive backs core, Nakai Hill-Green, the guy they got from Michigan, dude, he had an Oklahoma drill with the running back last week. He didn't lose. I mean, it was seriously. Back was running, Green jumps in the hole and just lowers his shoulder like a bull and took the back down. Man, what he's done to this team, how he's turned it around is amazing. But to your point, you don't get to dump the whole roster to create a turnaround this fast. You don't get to go spend all the money.
He basically did it twice, and you don't do that in the pros.
No, you don't. You can't. And to your point, I think the message grows old. You know what? See, again, people always told this about, I was always told, let me ask you this, and we all know Mike Shanahan should be in the Hall of Fame, hell of an NFL coach. But you and I know a bunch of guys that played for Mike. Guys told me Mike Shanahan would have been an amazing college coach, and he almost went to the University of Florida. Remember that? Yep. One plane ride got him paid even more by Pat Bowlen. But Stink, of course, Doc, Eddie, all those guys would tell me, Rod, Mike Shanahan, if his message and his ability to recycle some of what he does every 4 years with a new group of students, new group of athletes, dude, he could have owned college football if he wanted to. You know what I mean? Like, again, I think one of the things that helps Prime is he gets new people to hear the message. It doesn't get old because you're not hearing it for more than maybe 2 years.
Right.
So that Jordan Seaton kid, by the way, is a player too, that left tackle. What should the Broncos do with Garrett Bowles and Cortland Sutton? Here's my worry about things, okay? I am really, and I mean this when I say this, I think you know this, I am enjoying this Bronco offense. I have been very pleasantly surprised by how good I think Bo Nix can be. All right, I've enjoyed it 3 of the last 5 weeks. How about that? That's fair. But look, it does feel like they're building something. It does feel like they do get a little better every week. They didn't score as much as I would have liked in Kansas City, but they at least remain competitive. But here's my worry. See, this is where the Russ thing could hit you. John Franklin Myers, Malcolm Roach, DJ Jones. That's your three down linemen there in this defense. Can you afford to re-sign those guys next year? I don't know. DJ Jones is going to cost you some money now. Hey, Garrett Bowles, man, you haven't done anything with that contract.
You already got rid of an edge rusher, outside linebacker, because you knew you weren't going to be able to pay him next year.
Dude, A.Q. Shipley, who's a former offensive lineman with Pat McAfee, and Brian Baldinger with the NFL Network, the guy with the crazy fingers, have both praised the Broncos offensive line as they both said this is one of the best units going right now. They're cohesive. They're moving together. What a difference a couple years makes. Credit Sean Payton. He came in and got this line playing right again. They've been playing much better. And they were playing well in Baltimore until, I don't know, they got a little manhandled towards the end. But for the most part, first half, they at least gave it a good effort until you, frankly, it's because you decided to pass and not run the football and let them go forward and play physical. But nonetheless, Garrett Bowles. Look, man, Garrett Bowles had an interesting career here, but you know what you got in Garrett Bowles? You try somebody else, you don't know that's going to work. Courtland Sutton he's the security blanket for Bo Nix, but he's a $20 million cap hit next year because I looked it up. I mean, is there more urgency to try to get a little surprise done now than we thought because of what could happen next year, or are you not worried?
Yeah, I'm not 100% worried. I think with Bowlesy, and I don't know if he would, and you can't be an embarrassing offer, but I try to get a hometown discount.
Maybe about $10 million. He was making 20 this year. How's 10 sound?
That would be, how's 15?
Can you afford 15? Remember, they still got to. Everyone keeps forgetting there is still a Russ cap hit next year, so you still got to be smart about it. I know everyone's saying they got $100 million to this. Well, if the Miners thing kicks in now, I don't think Surtain's deal kicks in until after next year because they were out of the Russ cap hit. But I think Miners is a 4-year guy. Miners kicks in next year, right? You know, I'm just saying the $100 million in cap space goes real quickly when you start factoring in some contracts or pushing money. I mean, $100 million, if you really go top free agent, which I don't think they should. I think you need to be smart with your free agents like they were last year. Look, you didn't dive into any first-day guy. Look how it turned out for you. You found some pretty good players. Brandon Jones, the safety, is a pretty good player. Turns out you had a great corner sitting on – great's probably a strong word, but a really good corner, and Riley Moss on your team the whole time, right? Malcolm Roach, savvy signing, great for the system. You're going to want to keep DJ Jones around, right? I still think you need a more athletic middle linebacker to pair inside. I like Sternad's try, but I'd like an upgrade on Sternad.
But you hope Sanders can be that guy if he gets back from the injury.
Great call. Forgot about him. Great call.
You know, I don't know, man. I would try to get Bowlesy on a hometown feel. Oh, you know.
How many years though? 2, 3?
Well, I'd even give him 4 if it's a good hometown discount. And will you take a little less and we'll guarantee it all?
Here's what I would tell you. If I'll give you 2 years at your 15, or I'll give you 4 at your 10. That would be your choice.
And guarantee it all?
Whatever.
Yeah.
Guarantee you 30 either way. I don't know. See, if I'm guaranteeing it all, I might go 25 million over 2 years then.
You ain't going to say if he's making 20 this year, you ain't going to get him for that.
Well, if you don't want to move,
somebody out there is going to pay 18 to 22, isn't they?
Look, I'm not telling you you're wrong. I didn't think Lloyd Cushenberry would get the massive offer that he got. He got 50-60 from the Titans for 4 years, so yeah. I know you're right.
How does he like that 2-win season?
Well, he's hurt now for the year now, so they liked how he was playing, but they're in some trouble there now. Let me ask you this. Is this they going to make the playoffs? What do you think? Scott Hastings pre-Thanksgiving. This a playoff team?
I think they're a top 10 team for sure. They have to win all three of these games coming up.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Can't be tripping up. Can't be having a lack. Can't be reading all your press clippings after the Atlanta win. And there's plenty of them. But you especially can't lose to the Colts. You got to beat the Colts.
And
so
that's going to be an interesting team by the time you play them too.
Yeah, Anthony Richardson's back in there. He did all right. Maybe everyone's finally all recommitted to just doing what he needs to do to get wins.
And then you got to finish the season with Cincinnati, Chargers, and Kansas City. And now, if everybody plays to Hoyle, and you get down to week 17, and Buffalo's sitting there still with 2 losses, and Kansas City still with 1, guess what? Kansas City's got to win that game. They ain't coming.
Yeah.
Now if Kansas City's got 1 loss and Buffalo's got 3, you might get a light squad that game. So you can't just count on that happening. Cincinnati, I thought 2 weeks ago they're done. They're the best worst team I've ever seen.
Yeah, they really are. They're a fun, terrible team. They're a fun, terrible football team. Yeah, that breaks my heart, man. My guy Joey B. I love watching Joe Burrow play quarterback. I really do.
Ball, doesn't he? You'll go old school again. Remember when they used to say, "I like how he spins it."
Yeah,
that guy can really spin it. Joe Burrow's, to me, a throwback to that. When you watch, heck, I'll even say Herbert's the same way.
Yeah. Hey, dude, Herbert. There's some high level QB play going on in that game now.
Yeah, they can spin it. Let me ask this.
What are you watching? You watching the DU hockey?
I'm watching DU. Freaking DU's down 2-1. They score on a power play, and then the goalie on a rebound. Oh, imagine this. Somebody's crashing the net. Goalie can't get a hold of it. It bounces out away from him right to a DU player. Boom, boom, lifts over the right shoulder into the net. Now all of a sudden DU went from down 2-1 to 3-2 with 17 seconds left in the second period.
That ain't what you want. I'm watching a nothing late in the second period Nashville-Seattle game. They've had some chances, but, dude, guys can't even just get the dang thing on net. Hey, I got another quick question for you, okay? I had to sit on a National Lacrosse League conference call tonight, one of those beginning of the year meetings, if you will, the old broadcasters call, and the head of the refs comes on to start this thing.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, so we're focusing on, in lacrosse, the way these guys play in indoor, because everyone's got a short stick, they're going to focus on defensive holding. Is if I run by and you grab my jersey and impede my cut or worse, pull me down, they're going to be calling a lot more of that, okay? And then they're also going to make sure nobody's boarding a guy. We're getting a little loose with our respect for each other in the league, and when guys have their head down near the board, guys have been coming in and plowing them, so they're going to try to get that out of the game too. But they kept talking about how we're going to really focus on this defensive holding, so be ready for it. I don't like that. We get this in the NFL all the time, right? They always come up with 2 or 3 things, and, so I asked the guy, well, is this a new rule? No. Seattle finally got it. They got it done. They got a goal. It's not a new rule. We're just going to focus on how we wrote it more. Dude, so why haven't you been calling it that way? And then, it's like, to me, I went to a Catholic school. It's Holy Family, right? We had uniforms. The refs remind me of this every freaking year. At the beginning of the year, they would crack down on you, and everyone's getting detention because your uniform's not right. And about a month in, they don't give a crap. Some kids would not even wear the collared shirt. We'd be wearing T-shirts or some crap. And then beginning right after Christmas, when you're back for the next, we're going to crack down on this. And again, for another month, you had to wear. I feel like that's all these leagues do. Well, for the first month of the season. But my problem is, for all we know, you're going to make a critical call because you're focused on this early in the season that could be the win somebody needs. That could determine, when you were all up in your rules, that could determine whether a team won a game or not, that game could be division standings.
They start getting it loose on it as the season goes around games 8, 9, or 10. And all of a sudden, the guy's got a breakaway, and the guy grabs the guy's jersey, keeps him from
You're
getting,
not calling it.
and there's not a whistle, that can affect the game too. I said something yesterday on the broadcast, doing it with Barlow and Katie, and I said, "You guys realize the original rules of basketball? There was only 13 rules." And Marla goes, I said, "How many rules are there now?" And I wrote 6,827, whatever it was. But it was a simple game. Guess what? 13 rules. Call the rules. You can't contact the offensive player. You can't run over a defensive player. You can't take more than 2 steps. You can't put the ball from underneath your hand underneath the ball to over the top of the ball while you're dribbling. If you called it that way, why do you need all these other things? Ball over the cylinder can't be touched. Easy peasy. Now we got section 322 of 6B and line 2, paragraph 1 double A. Yeah, what was 3 or 4 years ago in the NBA was we're going to start watching traveling more.
Right.
Balling like crazy early, and then it's back to whatever doing.
Well, it gets unwatchable, man. Just gets unwatchable.
This year we're going to let incidental contact go a little bit more. That'll be great. And as the season goes and playoff numbers, teams are going to have to win. The calls will start coming back. We're not going to let offensive players jump into you. Called the hell out of it last year at the beginning of the year. I watched the play happen this year. Oh, God, I'm trying to think who the player was. Might have been Brunson or somebody. He pulls up, jumps dead left right into the defender who's going down the side of him. Foul and one. Boom, game over.
Dude. Hey, it drives me nuts. And look, if the scoring doesn't get up, how's scoring been? Scoring's the key, right?
Scoring's been high, I think.
Okay, well then let them play. I got just a rando question, not to pick on. That's why we'll use it on the podcast and we'll put it on the radio. A little bit smaller audience, I hope. If we did not put the refs on TV, would they be so quick to call every little thing? Some crews, I swear to God, are just trying to get as much TV time as they can.
Well, we knew back when I played, there was a guy, and they ended up eventually making him the head of all officiating, named Daryl Garrett.
Yep, remember it.
And you knew 2 things about Daryl. One, he wanted a quick game, and if there were 6 free throw shots in a game, that was a lot. He was going to let you play. That's good. Second thing, if you're on network,
national TV,
a national television game, he's going to grandstand the timeout. He's going to call guys out to talk to him. He's going to pop, pop, pop. He's going to jump in the huddle and talk to the coaches. Hey, Mike, we got this. Pop, 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 pop. And you knew those 2 things were always going to happen.
He wanted his TV time, baby.
Yep. There's another guy we had. I can't think of his name. He's an Irish dude. Remember, this is 30 years ago. God, I can't remember his name. I can see his face. Ed, I thought his first name. An Irish dude.
Ed Malloy?
No. Well, I'm talking way older than this guy. This guy's might not even be alive anymore. But you walked on the floor and he's in there reffing and you're playing the Celtics, you had no chance.
Because he was Irish?
He was an Irish.
That parquet floor is sacred.
Yeah, no chance. There's another official, Earl Strom, who I think is one of the great officials of all time. You wanted him doing your games every time you're on the road. He loved the home crowds getting in his ass. So he wasn't afraid to make a big call against the home team. So I remember going to the Boston Garden once, and Fratello was there as the head coach. We're in Atlanta. And walks out, and Earl Strom walks out there and said, "Boys, we got a shot tonight." He said, "We'll get some calls. Play hard, play right. Earl will take care of us."
Sure enough.
Yep.
Did you get away with a couple on McHale? Who is your usual Boston Celtic cover? I know you got some funny stories against Bird, but who would they sub you in to cover?
Bird and McHale.
McHale? Really?
Yeah.
Were they hoping your length would bother Bird?
Well, I always said it this way. Bird would do these 5 or 6 fakes, and I was too slow to react. And so when he made his move, I was still there.
Typical Scotty picking on himself. Oh, the time that we had. All right, real quick.
I did tell that to the. I came out of game, and we beat Boston in Boston, and I was the primary defender on Bird the second half, fourth quarter late. I'm in the game late, and I'm D'ing him up. I'm making it hard on him. I mean, I'm working. I'm beating the snot out of him. I mean, he's having to work to score, and we won the game. I'm me. I come and sit down, and I got 20 freaking dudes and gals surrounding my locker to interview me about how'd you guard Bird? What was your success on Bird? How would you do so good on Bird? That table picked up. I picked up a table. I said, he had 36. And now, and I don't remember, but I felt I was doing a good job on him, and I think, he must have had a lot of that earlier. But I'm like, but dude had 30 points. I mean, I don't know how good you're going to do on him. And then I used that quote I just gave you. I said, what's your key? I go, well, listen, Bert throws all those fakes at you. I'm just too slow to go for any of them, so I'm always right there when he tries to make his move.
Scott Hastings, always a gem. Before I let you go, are you going to go see that new Gladiator? Doesn't look anything like the original. I don't know what's going on here, but
we have tickets to go tomorrow night.
All right. But
we just got off the road for 5 days. I got a late game Friday, and we go right back on the road to LA for Saturday.
Yeah.
We're not flying back till Sunday. And so the Warren and I kind of discussed, and if we do a movie, we may do that Rock Christmas movie.
Which looks good.
With all of us. I just don't know if Ellie's ready for Gladiator.
No, not this one. That looks hella violent. This is going to be, I think, 300 violent and bloody.
Yeah.
I think that's what they're going for, which the first one was not quite that. So.
No, they had the first one had a little bit more art to the killing.
Right. This one, I think they're going to go straight 300.
Got alligators jumping on a boat in a pond in the Coliseum eating people.
Yeah. So probably going to be pretty raw.
Yeah.
All right, Cheppy. Well, we'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks all for joining us again. So now what's going on next Wednesday? You're on the road, right?
Let me
Utah?
See. I got thinking in my head. Yep, we got a one-day trip to Utah. Leave Tuesday, play in Utah Wednesday. Should come home after the game Wednesday, and then frying a turkey on Thursday.
You could get some Christmas weather, my friend.
Smoking the turkey. I'm not frying. Smoking.
The weather outside's supposed to be frightful.
Smoking.
Better get your. Well, Thursday could be cold and snowy.
All the work when you smoke a turkey is done before you stick it in there. Right?
Why is she giving you the hum? Because I mean, she's got to do it.
I'm giving her the recipe, what she has to do to brine it the night before. When I'm in Utah on Wednesday night, we're gonna put it out in the garage in a big thing of water with vegetables and fruit.
Do you do the bucket and all that? Do you buy any of the mixes, or do you just do your own thing? By the way, did you see you're supposed to buy a food safe bag, not put it in a trash bag? Chemicals on the trash bag have been making people sick.
No, I get a clean bucket from Home Depot.
Okay.
Out, and then I put it in the bucket.
What if there's a hole in the bucket?
Well,
Liza.
People don't know the warden's real name is Liza.
Well, there you go. Okay.
There's a hole in my bucket, dear Liza. I just got glared at.
Of course you did. Well, I might come over and join her. Maybe we'll both smoke a turkey. I haven't decided yet because my brother's cooking it, and sometimes one turkey's enough till Christmas.
Yeah, I tell you what, I've smoked it for the last 3 years, and it has been outstanding.
You need barbecue supplies. Proud Souls Barbecue. They're my people, even though I haven't seen them in 6 months.
We're getting a Boston Scully.
Get a Boston Scally. Get one of the roses. That's the blood rose.
The one I was looking at today was one. It was. Have you seen the purple Scotch pattern purple blood rose?
World.
Although I kind of like it my old school, just solid gray.
Well, maybe you just need to keep doing it. All right.
I'm going to wear this to LA.
I like it. Look prim and proper.
And I found my round glasses. So I
Yeah.
got the round glasses, the Boston Scully.
I don't know what the hell that is. That should be cut.
I got the
You got
food.
you got to thicken that thing up.
But I trim it up too much sometimes.
I don't know what you do.
And it's so white. My
That thing's like the
my hair
wickets.
didn't turn gray. My hair turned white.
Yeah, you saw a damn ghost.
Yeah, I skipped the gray thing.
You're Gandalf the gray. You're Gandalf the white.
Dude, it's called the Warden.
Yeah. All
Yep.
right.
This thing was brown just 8 years ago.
Well, enjoy the couch there. I hope you have a good night's sleep on it. We'll talk to everybody next week. Goodbye there, Pappy.